What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So we got a couple things we're going to do in the third gen today. We finally have everything in to get this thing done. This morning, it's actually a nice September morning and the high today's 78. I'm like just loving it right now because it's almost cool enough right now. It's not 70 right yet. It's about 65 right now. It's like just cool enough to like chill you a little bit, but in a short sleeve shirt, it feels awesome, like perfect. I get this feeling like deer season's close. Does anybody else get that feeling when you get these cooler mornings start to come in? You're like, fall's almost here and I'm about to be sitting in a tree for like the next 5 months straight. For me personally, I just do. I have so many awesome memories that are around fall time and holidays, and my birthday's in October, Thanksgiving's in November, you know, like Christmas is in December, like just the whole like cooler season of the year. I just have so many great times that time of year, so I just always look forward to it. Maybe I'm weird and I like being cold more than I do sweating in the summer, but we're out here with the third gen. The blacked out cab lights are here, so we're gonna get those changed out this morning. The headlights and tail lights, both at like 6 a.m. this morning, said they are out for delivery and will be delivered this morning. So we're gonna get the cab lights done. That way we can just get that done real quick, and then we're gonna move on to putting in brand new headlights with LEDs and brand new tail lights, and then this thing will finally be done in terms of the lighting on the truck to completely tie it all together, make it all blacked out to kind of match the paint of the truck and the theme we're trying to go with, which is keeping it as stock as we can mechanically, but completely blacking out everything and making it look very sporty and aggressive. So let's get to it right now. And then we might also even tamper with Rosine a little bit here today because she does not want to start. She is doing this thing where she cranks and cranks and cranks and does not want to fire. She's done this in the past, but not this bad. Like, it's done this a long time ago where you could just crank it and it would just like take like 2 or 3 seconds of just and then like fire. But now it's like cranking and cranking and cranking and cranking. It doesn't want to start at all, and it just randomly started doing this. So I'm not really sure what it is, because it's actually been seemingly fine all summer. It's been just like touch the key, fire up. And yesterday she was trying to start it and it's just cranking and cranking and cranking and cranking. It doesn't want to fire. So not sure what that's all about. We're going to look at a few different things. And another thing it's not that funny, but it's one of the reasons why I freaking love 12 valve diesels. So my buddy Jeshua is, you know, he was just over here. We got his truck as ready as we could get it because he's driving to Colorado, which that's where he's at now. I mean, he did a full 14 hours in his truck 2 days ago, and then he did, I think, another 14 hours yesterday. And he got like to Colorado. He's like an hour or two from where he's going to be setting up camp, and his freaking truck had a fuel line literally crack in two right above one of the injectors, like 3 or 4 inches above the injector, right between the injector and the valve covers there, you know. On his 12 valve, just cracked right in two. No idea why. He's like, I don't understand why it did that. There's nothing rubbing on it. It's like it's completely freely there by itself going to the injector, and it just looks like somebody took a little grinder and just cut a perfect like notch right in the side of the fuel line. It just completely cut in two. He's all the way out here, right? And so he was trying to call me and text me, couldn't get a hold of me last night. And so I said, what did you do? And he's like, well, all I did was I pulled the broken line out and then I just taped it off. You know, I'm like, so you don't have any fuel going to cylinder, I think it was cylinder 3. He's like, no. You know, and I was texting him. He's like, I literally drove it on 5 cylinders down the highway with the cruise set going 60. Obviously, there's going to be people that are like, that is completely stupid. But you guys got to think about this. He's in the mountains in the middle of freaking nowhere at 2 a.m. And he's like, I don't know what to do. Like, what am I going to do? Like, you know, it was going to be like forever until AAA could get out there. And even if they got out there, where were they going to haul the truck? It could have been hours the opposite direction that we were going. You know, it's like I just didn't have many options, you know. And it makes it kind of complicated on that note. But the thing I was trying to get to is why I freaking love the 12 valves is he could still drive that truck on 5 cylinders with the cruise set 60 miles an hour. That's crazy. If you're asking me, that says something about the 12 valve Cummins, because they're fully mechanical. they don't go into limp mode and they don't, you know, do all this other stuff. Now, that does mean you, the driver and operator, have to be smarter with monitoring everything, because you can literally drive those trucks until you completely break them because there's no computers monitoring stuff. But I like the fact that if you're in a pinch like that, you don't have any better options until you can get the other hour and a half or so. And he said he didn't even notice it until he stopped to fuel up, and he noticed that, you know, he saw some steam coming out from under the hood because his diesel was just burning on the side of the block, getting hot. And so it was making a little smoky. So he's like, I have no idea how long it was like that. You know, like I was driving 14 hours that day and I just happened to notice it when I was fueling up once. But he's like, all I know for a fact is that it wasn't cracked when I left, because we were working on the engine bay. We would have seen that, you know. He doesn't know what happened, but to me, that's crazy. It's crazy to me. You know, to be honest, there's gonna be people that are like, oh my gosh, that was completely stupid, which if you had other options, I would agree with you. Yes, that would be dumb to do that and drive it on 5 cylinders. If you had other options, you had an auto parts store nearby and you just didn't want to spend the money to get new parts or patch it or whatever, but they didn't. He's like, dude, we were in the middle of freaking nowhere. Like, I had no option but to keep driving to get somewhere. I usually, you know, we didn't like hardly have any service or anything. So many guys that are running old stock 12 valves and like the injectors, like they'll have like 1 or 2 of their injectors that like aren't even putting out fuel because they're so like corroded and nasty and like full of gunk on the tips of the nozzles. Freaking bad injectors in their 12 valves that they have. The problem is you don't really know they're bad unless you're very cautious about monitoring how your truck's idling, driving, you know, looking at the tailpipe. Like if you're being very careful monitoring it, you may be able to catch on to it. But a lot of times if you have an injector that's just not fueling for some reason or whatever, you won't even really know it in those trucks, because they can run seemingly totally fine even if they have 1 or 2 cylinders that aren't getting the right amount of fuel or getting much fuel at all. And on that note, that's why whenever I have a 15 to 20-year-old guy ask me, hey, you know, what's the best diesel I should get for my first truck? I want to get started in on the game, but I don't have a lot of money to spend on repairs and stuff. So what, you know, what do you suggest if I'm trying to do it, or do you not at all? I always say get a 12 valve Cummins. And, you know, some people say, oh, well, diesel, everything to fix on a diesel is expensive. I'm like, okay, that's fairly true for catastrophic things, but for the most part, a 12 valve Cummins is not much more expensive to operate than a gas pickup truck. And I'm being serious. Like even injectors, like a full set of stocks injectors for those trucks, it's like $400 maybe. Like I always say, get a 12 valve. Now obviously if you're going to enter to win one, I would enter to win this thing, you know, but I mean, hey, you ain't paying for this one, you're buying a t-shirt to win this truck. No, but on that note, enter to win this truck at lnpgear.com. Place an order, get entered to win this thing. I mean, the thing is stout, it's bad, it's freaking low miles, not even 85,000 miles on it yet, and this truck is freaking clean. It's nice. You would love it. Definitely shop, check out the stuff, get entered. And on that note, definitely check out the monthly mystery subscription boxes. You get entered into every single giveaway automatically, and you always get 20x entries if you get a mystery box. Definitely take advantage of that, because no matter what entry deal we're running, if you have a mystery box and you're subscribed to it, you get 20x entries. And that's pretty sweet. And 25x entries though is what you get right now for everything on the store, including the mystery boxes. But 25x entries do end on Monday, September 6th. And 25x entries will not be back for the entire giveaway, and no higher entry deal will be here either. New cab lights are on. Now these are actually different than a lot of the stuff that we've actually done in the past, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I'm going to turn that off because that's kind of annoying. So they are completely black and smoked, but ordinarily what we've done is just get like the black cab light lenses and then just pop some LED lights in the factory cab light wiring. The only thing is though, I didn't really want to go that same route again. I kind of liked the amber cab light look. I just wanted the housing to be black. So that's what we did. Ordinarily, I would have done LEDs up there, but I've never had the best luck with the ones that I've been able to find, and therefore they've always burned out, or they've been flickering or something really annoying, and I just didn't like it. So I went with a little bit nicer set on this truck, and so far, I mean, they're super nice, super bright. And the other thing is too, they're gonna match the headlights and taillights that we're also putting on today, along with the blacked out LED jewel style fog lights. And the other thing is too, that third brake light is also smoked as well. So everything's going to tie together very nice. You can see them right there. And if you look at them, they do actually have LEDs. So the actual cab lights are an amber LED little bar in there. And so they actually put off a decent amount of light. You know, nothing that's gonna like blind you, but they are bright. Pretty sweet. So we found out what Rosine's problem is, and yes, it is priming. The priming is the issue because you see all this fuel, shiny fuel on this tape, on these hoses. You can smell diesel. I mean, you probably can't, but I can. This hose right here is actually cracked. I was kind of worried about that, honestly. A few days ago when we were driving it, I was in here doing the oil change, and I was just looking at some of the hoses and lines and stuff, and I'm like, man, that hose just doesn't look good. It's a real short piece of hose going from right down there at that fitting just to there, but I mean, that's definitely what's causing the issue. When I started to crank the truck over, I could see diesel actually running down right here, and then I just kind of looked up and I could see it coming from right next to that hose because it was just spraying fuel out. It looks like we're gonna have to get that replaced because it's, luckily it's nothing major like a fuel pump or anything like that. It's just, it's not obviously priming because of the cracked hose. Easy enough fix, hopefully. I've never had to crack the injectors loose on one of these, but I would imagine it's not much harder than just like doing it on a 12 valve, except they're on this side, not the other side, but at least we know what the problem is. Got that fuel hose cut off, Rosine. Here's the total piece. It's actually an Air Dog fuel thing, and it was just all frayed apart and blistering. Now you guys keep in mind though, before you jump to any conclusions, I'm not doing it either about, oh, Air Dog must make cheap crap. I mean, I'm sure Air Dog themselves doesn't make the hose. We've had the truck for at least, man, I mean, she's had the truck since late 2017 or early 2018, and this fuel system could have been on there for freaking who knows how long. It could have been a year before that, which would put us at about 5 years almost, or it could have been put on there freaking 5 years before she got it, and it could have been on there 10 years and finally started to crack over the heat in the engine bay. You guys, I mean, eventually stuff like that, it just breaks down. I mean, it's all stuff, it's all parts, just like anything else on the trucks that needs replaced over time. I mean, eventually stuff, you know, heats up, cools down, heats up, cools down, contracts, breaks. I mean, it happens. But anyways, so no big deal. Just another piece of hose we got to go get and get that done. However, the tail lights for this thing did just show up, so we're gonna get these popped out and the new ones popped in. Here's the old tail light going out, new one going in. We put these on the white 3rd gen. They're such a good looking tail light. They don't get much more simple. Completely plug and play. That's it. That is so sick. I mean, it literally like disappears into the paint, and not only that, but this smoky like silver LED bar in here, when it's turned off, like matches the two-tone paint very nicely. Look how it like flows together like glass. That's so freaking nice. Pulls the paint color out of the truck and just like blends right to it. I mean, it's awesome. They almost blend right in with the paint. Awesome. And then there's the cab lights on top, and the headlights will be here very soon, but since we're still waiting on those, let's run to Napa, grab a new fuel hose if they have one for that section of Rosine, and get that thing fired back up. Should we put Vink on a t-shirt? This dude comes up to the house every morning and sits by the door, and we never let him in, and he still thinks someday he's gonna get in the house. Well, we just left Napa. We got the fuel line for Rosine, and we got some oil and an oil filter for the 3rd gen, because I have no idea when the oil in this thing was changed last, so we're just gonna do it anyways and get the new filter put on just so I know it is done, and then hopefully those headlights are at the house when we get back. Now, I have a feeling we're gonna have to crack the injector lines anyways, but there's a new fuel line right there. You can see the new fitting right there. The line goes up to the pump. And is clamped on right there as well. Now my guess would be that we're gonna have to crack the fuel lines up against the injectors to get it to start, but I figure we can try it anyway. Maybe it'll make a difference just having the line and it'll start up, but who knows. Like I thought, we're gonna have to crack all the fuel lines one at a time and get it to fire. Okay guys, so like I showed you already, we got that fuel hose put on right there, and it's also clamped down right there. That was the main issue. There's the whole hose right there, you can see it. It's just a 12-inch piece, just a 12-inch piece of hose there, going from the bottom of the pump there to that little fitting that connects the fuel pressure gauge to that other section of hose. And I cracked loose cylinders 5, 4, 3, and 1. I didn't do cylinder 2 or 6 because I don't think you need to on these trucks to get them to go. And I cracked them loose, got the fuel pump cycling, and then got fuel to come out of the lines. So, as long as I did everything correct, and they're already tightened back up, the thing should just fire off instantly now. There she is. Just making sure that fuel line is still good that I just put on. No. Hey, don't you turn that thing off. So I got the sun out here. We're gonna be washing down Rosine. She's not like completely filthy, but she's got a little bit of dirt kicked up on the sides and some dust settled on her. The wheels need clean because they're pretty dusty. And then after we get it cleaned, I do have some touch up, and we're gonna try to fix this bumper alignment a little bit and then touch up what we can for now until we can get it into the paint shop. That way it's at least not an eyesore. So we're gonna get the camera propped up and get Rosine completely washed down. Reagan actually has this little thing that's actually for washing the horse, and I'm gonna actually see how this works with foam cannon soap and spraying down the truck. Since it's not too terribly dirty, I think it should be fine. Okay, so we were able to get Rosine all cleaned up, and I did do a little bit of touch-up paint there. As good as I could. You guys know how gashed up that was there. And then I did the little touch-up there, and a little bit of touch-up down there, only so that temporarily, like you see from here, you can't see any paint chips anymore. And I pushed that bumper in as much as I could. It didn't go in very much, but it does look a little bit better that way. At least, you know, while she doesn't have the bumper completely redone again or replaced with another one, at least for now, everything looks good, and it almost looks like it's meant to be that way. I was starting to lose faith in old UPS there. Wasn't sure my headlights were going to show up, but they did. They're here. Here's the current set. Let me show you the new ones here before we put them on. And here they are. You can see these next to these ones. Is going to match the truck. so much better. It's even got the smoked out side marker lights. It's actually already got your amber bulb in there for your turning signal in your daytime, but we do have LEDs for the main headlights themselves. Okay, so real quick before we finish, I want to show you the before and after of this side versus the other side. Check this out, guys. Ties together so nicely with the cab lights, matches perfect, and with the tail lights, the third brake light, and then the fog lights. I mean, LED, both blacked. And you can see the difference here. The fully smoked housing in chrome. We finally did it. All the lighting is done on the truck. Looks perfect. I was telling my wife, she came out here and looked at it and she's like, yeah, it looks good. I said, you know what, top this off is like 5% tint, or at least a tint match from the back glass factory tint all the way around. I think it would look freaking perfect. What do you guys say? Let me know down in the comment section below. But yeah, I mean, it tied together very, very well. Now, when you have just your daytime lights on, ambers are in the corner lights of the headlights, and the cab lights are amber, of course. But then when you flip on your actual headlight, you have the LEDs in the headlight, and then you have the LED fog lights if you want to pull out your fog light switch as well for those. And it just really, really looks good. Everything ties together so nicely, and I could not be happier with it. And I hope you guys like it too. So thanks so much for watching. My phone is on 1%. It's about to die. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on the truck and what we got done to it for the lighting to tie it all up together. Looks so much better. Don't forget that if you want to enter to win this truck, 25 Xcenturies do end on Monday, September 6th, and they will not be back. Go to lmpgear.com, place an order, and you're automatically entered to win. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.